And welcome to the Jedi Podcast around the league with Alex Williams, and I'm here today with Mr. David Zellermeyer.
Hello, how's everybody doing?
All right, so we're gonna get down to the tough questions now. You still with me, Dave? Yeah, it's the tough questions.
Yep.
All right, so why'd you cut Beast Mode?
I didn't cut him. He didn't want to resign.
Oh,
He was on a
wow,
1 year contract, and that was that.
and
It's
you
just as well his speed dropped really bad.
and and yeah, old guy. But anyway, I just can't believe you spent last year a first round pick and the run game seemed to be stopped all season. Like you couldn't get the run game going, but yet you had a young Ray Rice. Why did you take beast mode?
I just wanted to give him a shot.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh, Ray Rice, after his antics this last year, really didn't want him as a starter,
Uh-huh.
and he doesn't have the trucking power that I really like, especially when you have kind of a weak offensive line,
Yes,
you know?
and like I think it was a big shock when you kind of like left Michael Other. That was a big shock a couple of years ago, just about a year
Yeah,
ago. That was your most of your line support. Now you got nothing. I mean, your defense is pretty much a stud, almost.
right. Yeah,
Cornerbacks with Webster, and then you got Nagita. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
right.
And also, I mean, what gaps do you need to fill? I know you said the line, but any defensive roles like linebackers or
I need at least one good corner. Uh, if not, a number two, at least a nickel corner.
hmm.
I need a defensive tackle, and that's really it on defense.
I'm gonna level with you. Is there any gaps you want to fill in free agency, and what's your gaps you're trying to fill in the draft? I know you want younger guys that excel
Yeah,
almost. I mean, you didn't get. I mean, that first round pick, number one pick given to Mr. Giff. I mean that's
yeah, I'm
pretty.
disappointed about that.
I mean, I mean, and then he's still laughing about it. But I mean, that probably hurt you a lot there. I mean, that's pretty heavy that you lost the first pick of the draft too.
Well, it's more about we had been discussing uh Mrs. Giff making a deal with me, and I guess it fell through. I was trying to get that first pick back this year, but
That didn't roll.
she needs
Well,
it. She needs it more than anyone,
yeah,
really.
and the thing that we planned for last night, me and Mr. Michael, Mr. Watson was talking about was like Giff brought his wife to buy the Dolphins so that he could move the Seahawks to the Miami to we're in the Miami Stadium, so there's hot tubs in Miami. Okay,
Right.
so he moves them there so that he could get a custom pool in there for the Seahawks players, and then on top of it all, it doesn't snow or rain all the time, so Russell's got a perfect shot of winning the game.
There you go.
That's
Well,
pretty
you
good.
never know.
Yeah, you
Never
just
know.
never know. But I mean, is there like I had to ask everybody this question, but how is like just like all around? How's the wide receiver game going? I know you have Torrey Smith, but I mean he's not that much of a big role, but he's one of your wide receivers.
Well, I re-signed Polaris. I really like him. Unfortunately, he got hurt early in the season after I had picked him up, and so that hurt me quite a bit. But I'm pretty solid with the receivers. I'd like to get another one through free agency.
And you're in a really tough division too, with fighting with the Browns and the Bengals, in which
Yeah.
Mr. Williams, and then he like hypes up his son to buy the Browns, like
Yep.
yeah. And then you got Mr. McMillan over here, and I mean he left the game for about a half a year, and it was a big shock. I mean he was having some medical issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he had. I mean, not to say he had cancer, but he had some medical issues and things he had to get. Because he couldn't compete. Like how like those coaches that he was like Gary Kubiak. He had like a heart attack on the field.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean we all saw that on TV, man. We all saw it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he
It
like
was.
got pulled off on a stretcher, and then like he had to have Mike Tomlin come in and fill in for him. I mean,
Oh, it was
yeah,
bad.
it was bad. It
Yeah.
was. But Yeah, so thank you for being on the podcast, guys. Just thank him for being on the podcast, guys. And this is Alex Williams Radio Station podcast. I hope everybody enjoys your night, and just stay chillax and good night. Everyone, this is the Alex Williams podcast slash XFA around the XFA. I'm here today with Mr. Luke Williams of the St. Louis Rams. How you doing, Luke?
Doing pretty good.
You pertain one of the highest picks in the draft, being number 5, correct?
Yep.
What are you looking for to fill in your gaps as a wide receiver? I mean, we've all known you've been eyeing that running back out of Ohio State. What do you think of him?
He's pretty good. Speed, but you would expect that from a power back, you know?
I mean, I also have a couple more questions. Your lineup's pretty much a stud. Your defense is amazing. They play like studs. Your offense, on the other hand, who's going to be your quarterback going through this season?
I'm hoping Ryan Tannehill.
And what happens if Ryan Tannehill doesn't pan out? Because I see 3 other offers on the table. He can either go to Jacksonville, or I think Jacksonville's put a bid, and the Baltimore Ravens.
And that doesn't work out. I have a backup plan of drafting a quarterback of one I've scouted.
Okay. Is there any other plans for the defense, or any big spots you're gonna fill this season in the draft or through free agency?
For my line, my center, my right guard, my right tackle, they're really just gonna fall apart if I don't have them replaced. So.
All right. Well, so what is the real big deal with some different just a lot of where is your team at right now?
I'd say it's in process of becoming a great team. It has a defense, which is a stud, probably best defense in the league. I'm just gonna say that. Offense is okay. Need a quarterback. I have a power back, Zach Stacy.
But Zach didn't do so well last season. He fell behind. He's getting slower and slower by the year. And what about that backup running back you have?
Feedback. Trey Watts.
Yes.
He's okay. I mean, he needs lots of work. He's somewhat slow, but at the same time, he needs better carrying. He fumbles a lot. I mean, he's gonna maybe.
Are you potentially getting another back?
Yes.
Okay. Have you scouted any more big name players? I know. What comes to mind is Cecil Rogers.
Yep.
Ty Jeffrey, if I'm correct.
Ty Jeffrey. Yeah.
Yes. What is there any different guys that you're looking for to move the franchise even bigger than it already is? And your division is unbelievably, incredibly tough.
Seahawks, Frisco, San Francisco, and the Cardinals is really tough. It's kind of they're already talking trash.
I see.
Just trying to get in there.
So, what do you think? If you had to send a message to Mr. Giff or Mr. Cash or Mr. Bobby, what would you send it? What would you send to him?
Watch your back.
You sound
Watch your back. Watch your back. I'm coming for you.
So you're planning on beating them every game?
Yep.
Because I'm just shocked you're saying this because, I mean, Mr. Giff's got one of the best defensive people in the league.
Bobby Wagner.
Yes.
Bobby Wagner, Russell Wilson.
I mean, he's got Russell Wilson. I mean, the big target. Everybody wanted him in the draft, but he signed him. I mean, free agency, and he signed him back. That's
my team isn't scared of anybody. My defense has great confidence. They are not scared of anyone.
You have Robert Quinn. I mean, you've got a good corner. I mean,
I have tons of defense. Aaron Donald, my rookie, he's a stud. They're all there.
All right, man. Well, I mean, thank you for your time, Mr. Williams. Good luck to you in the draft.
Thanks.
Alright, guys, with today, that ends the Around the XFA with Alex Williams. If you liked it, please go to the XFA forums if you're not down already and joining. So, you guys have a good night.